Today's episode's brought to you by John Deere. Well, not really, but LA Valiant might be.
Drop the beat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Noon Podcast, the competitive Overwatch podcast. I am your host, The Blevins. With me, as always, right over there is Deathblow. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Blevins?
Oh, we still got it. Got to check every once in a while. I'm doing well, man. Doing well. We've got we're really trying here. We've got a really quick episode this week. Now, we've said this multiple times across multiple podcasts in the past, and it's still almost always is over an hour, but we're going to try to keep it under an hour.
We've never lied about it before, but we've just always been wrong about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will be this time, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Death, did you do anything fun last week or this week or whatever week?
Fun?
Interesting, exciting.
It's an interesting
noteworthy.
word. I'm super, my schedule is basically completely maxed out on Overwatch stuff right now. So I've got 3 hours of coaching and then 2 to 4 hours of scrimming like every day. The extra time like eats into the coaching time, so it's usually never more than 5 hours. But yeah, I'm getting a little on the burnt out side. Mm-hmm. But we did, however, win our University League match this weekend 3-1.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. We even had to do it with it was 2 subs because one guy was like on, but his internet was really unstable. Mm-hmm. So we ended up like when he would drop, we'd bring the other guy in, and then we let him like play 2 maps, and then we tried again with the original member. And I think it dropped again, so we ended up finishing with the other guy. But they're subs we've used in the past. We're very familiar with them, so it was nice. There wasn't a lot of cohesion drop off. It wasn't like it would have been if it was somebody kind of random. So that was really nice. But we got the win there. Made our record 2-3 in group stages, which are now over. We wouldn't know if we'd made it out of groups, but I don't think we did. But at the same time, I don't think it's mathematically guaranteed that we couldn't have gotten out because there's only 5 in the group. So we'll have to wait and see, but I expect we're likely done with University League and now looking at the Open Division the next time around. We just signed up for that last night, so
Nice.
We should be joining that. Otherwise, I've just been doing a lot of coaching with the guys. Their roster is finally set up since they want to get into the Open Division as well. Just so many VODs to review. None of them esports VODs. So it's been a different week than the last 2 months have been with contenders running.
Yeah, and I know in the vein of the VOD reviews, you did actually a live VOD review on the channel.
Yes, I'm doing those now. So I talked to the team, and I've got a specific request on a YouTube comment to see more of my coaching and playing content myself. So what I've decided to do is I record the VODs for the team I coach, and I give commentary while my mic's muted, right? I can hear their comms. They can't hear me talk. So I've been like recording and talking over that recording to give them feedback live. And then we'll sit down and go over it together later. Or if I can't sit down and go over them with it, they can do it on their own time and still get my feedback. So we've decided to just stream it instead. So you can go over to twitch.tv/High Noon Podcast and follow there, and you'll see it. I mean, it could be, depending on their scrim schedule and how they break everything up, there will be weeks when I'm literally doing it 5 days a week. Like it'll be, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or not Monday because we do the podcast and they have off that day. So it would be like Saturday instead. So you guys can check those out. Those will be available. As a warning, we keep the podcast PG-13. I will not tell them not to swear in their comms while they're playing. Anything goes. It could be as toxic or as weird, awkward. They're just a bunch of young guys that play Overwatch together.
And girls.
So, that's my team, not theirs. They don't have any ladies.
Oh, when I was watching, there was a girl subbing for you guys, for them.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they had a tryout. But yeah, anyways, so you can check those out. I'll be doing those regularly. I'm able to talk to the stream, so you guys can stop by, but there's no overlay, there's no camera, there's no none of it because it needs to maintain its primary purpose to be just valuable to them, and I don't want to hide any information or anything like that by adding any screen elements. So stop by, say hello, and if you enjoy them, let me know. I'm kind of hoping it'll like maybe spark some interest. Some people will send me some VODs so I can kind of go back to reviewing some of those solo queue VODs. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that with the one I got out there. So I'd love to do that again. So yeah, if you have any VODs, send them my way. But how about you, man? What'd you do?
Played a decent amount of Overwatch, actually.
I saw you logged in. It was awkward. You even asked me to play once.
I know. I got stiffed. I
didn't see it till I was already in lobby.
I know. I'm a Winston main now. I've been having a ton of fun playing Winston and have been mildly successful. Something about Diva and Zarya just not clicking right now, so I'm playing Winston. Of course, I've been playing as much Symmetra as I possibly can because I got the awesome Halloween Symmetra skin.
I played Symmetra in our tournament match.
Nice. Did you win?
No. We won the map, but only because on the second time through on Hanamura, I didn't play Symmetra. But I will say this. I had gold damage when I switched. So we did not win, but I don't blame myself, as I never do when I lose.
I had a full hold on Hanamura with Symmetra. It felt really good. But yeah, so that was that. I've been playing. I've been shifting more Overwatch in because I'm like getting like burnt out on PUBG and all those games. Not really. I still like could play like 1,000 hours of PUBG if I wanted to, but. It's just like the game is so unstable. Like from
you're not going to PUBG Con in 2 weeks. You're going to BlizzCon in 2 weeks.
Exactly. You know, and there's no Halloween PUBG skins. So, I'm pre-building up because I know I'm going to be obviously overwhelmed at BlizzCon. Which short plug, if you are going to be at BlizzCon and you see me, just come up and say hi or something. I'll probably be scared that someone recognizes me, but I'll get over that eventually. The first time that happened, I like
the first time I go, it's going to creep me out.
I got creeped out. It was really weird because I was like, I was, and they're like, "Are you High Noon Podcast? You're Blevins." I'm just like, yeah,
I gotta go. I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay, but no, I won't be like that. It'll be much cooler. But let's move right along to so this is gonna be a little bit different, but I'm still gonna cue my favorite segment.
Overwatch Today, meme of the week.
So this is actually my super favorite segment because it is the Overwatch Today meme of the week segment, except I made the meme. It was me that made it. So we got the announcement. Okay, it was me that made it with the inspiration from Thornrain. I will give credit where credit's due. We got the announcement of the Los Angeles Valiant, which is the Immortals team, owned by the Immortals team. We got the logo and everything, and all the good stuff. We got the picture of the Mercy skin, which, by the way, the color scheme looks like it's sponsored by John Deere.
If by that you mean it looks awesome and great, then I'm
not saying anything.
We'll talk more about that now.
We'll talk about it in a second.
We'll talk about
the meme. Okay, so here's the meme. It's the Los Angeles Valiant. It's the picture, the name, Overwatch League, and then next to it normally is the Mercy skin, which we'll talk about in a second. But Thornrain found this. I don't know where it came from, but this picture of IDDQD with like a Mercy, the Viking Mercy like helm on. And I photoshopped it in. So that was great. I think it's hilarious. And then I tweeted at Uber Shouts and he retweeted it and like a bunch of people liked it, including the LA Valiant themselves. So if anyone from LA Valiant is listening, if you're hiring, contact me for memeologist. But yeah, that's it. So let's move on. We're making good time. So let's move on to...
It's tournament talk.
Now we're doing some tournament talk. Here's the point in the show where we would lose our good timing. But couple of things. Really, only one match happened, the Apex Finals, and I'm just gonna say I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I didn't see it yet either. It's a really good match, though. I can tell you just by the score and from what I've heard from other people. Jisoo Busan runs away with this one as
Oh,
they
got
defeat
there.
Runaway 4-3. So obviously a great result. I mean, this is one I called it. I've got to point out all the ones I get right now since I've been so epically wrong about the corn dogs. But yeah, so this was obviously a great match. Make sure you guys do check it out. They're always great, and they don't always get to go to 7 games, right? So when these best of 7s go long, like I know I'm super excited to watch it, and that's why I haven't yet, because if I was going to be able to watch it before we recorded, it was going to be on like 2x speeds, and I wasn't going to get to enjoy it. Right. And I want to watch the fluff in the middle, so that's on my list this weekend of things to do is watch this match. But
you could do a watch along stream or a VOD review type of stream.
I'm down to do a VOD review type of stream. If anybody wants to see that, let me know in Discord. That's another thing that I can, that I can do is I can sit down and go through pro VODs, stopping, pausing them, rewinding, trying to figure out what happened and what went wrong. If that's appealing to you guys, definitely tweet at us or, give us a shout out in Discord and let us know. But yeah, so I want to sit down and actually watch every minute of this match and really figure out what exactly happened here. As there's even a little bit of stuff in the rumor mill about GC Busan right now in Overwatch League. So they're a team that we have to pay attention to, because even if they don't find a way into the Overwatch League, they're a team you have to keep an eye on, because they're not going to be out long. And if they are not in Overwatch League for season 1, they will be kind of very active, and I would say likely to do very well in the sub scene,
or bought out, or
like in whatever the Korean version of contenders will be. They're sure to be active there, presumably Apex.
Right.
So yeah, we're really excited about that result and kind of having that one match out there to watch and being so high quality and so close. That's another reason why I haven't watched it yet. I'm just kind of like saving it and preserving it.
So here's my stupid story about it. I felt the same. I felt the same way. How I actually wanted to watch the full match. Didn't want to watch it on 2x speed, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch it on 2x speed anyway, so let's just do it. I watched about 40 minutes on 2x speed until I realized that it wasn't the finals match. It was one of the matches they played earlier. I just wasted a bunch of time because I'm that much of an idiot. But yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. There is some stuff about GC Busan out in the rumor mill for Overwatch, regarding Overwatch League, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I mean, the biggest thing here, obviously this is a good match at the end, and GC Busan versus Runaway. It's kind of like which one of the upstart teams is going to win this was the biggest thing. Honestly, I think the pun intended, the apex of this tournament was when Lunatic High got taken out. Like whoever won this was not going to be as exciting as when GC Busan takes out Lunatic High. Like that's the story of Apex.
Which time?
Exactly. Like the story of this season of Apex is the fall of Lunatic High in terms of their Apex run. Like that, like, not to take anything, not to take much away from the finals match. Like that's the biggest storyline. The Overwatch inside of the match, I'm sure, is great, but like the storyline of it is less exciting to me for the final. But enough about that. The other tournament update we have is the APAC groups, and I'm going to run through these real quick. We've got, oh God, this is too small for me to see. Oh man, old man.
I can see it. Do you want me to read them?
I got it. We've got MVP space. So this is Group A. MVP Space is at 3-0. Flash Wolves is at 2-1. VC Gaming is 1-2, and then we've got Envision, the Seoul Western team, at 0-3 in Group A. And then in Group B, we've got Africa Freaks at 3-0, Blank Esports at 2-1, Miracle Team 1 at 1-2, and then SHQ Esports Club at 0-3.
AHQ.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, see, eyes not working. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about that one.
There's no surprises here to me, right? Like, I didn't expect in Group 1. I would have expected MVP Space and Flash Wolves to be on top. I would have thought Envision would have had a solid chance going up against VC Gaming, but again,
we don't really know.
Envision proved themselves not to be an elite team in contenders. I feel, you know what I mean? Like they started strong and then Yeah, and then they tailed off, and they kind of looked like a much improved team from what they were before Contenders, but still not like, up there in even I would say maybe the top 5 of NA. Like if you were to restart Contenders immediately after Contenders happened, like I'd still guess Rogue and Immortals would have finished better than them again, given a chance to repeat it and start over. So I don't know. It didn't expect any different from them. I would have loved to have seen them do a little bit better. 2-10 in the map record obviously isn't great, but this isn't a roster I expected to make big Overwatch League implications, coming from them or anything like that.
Well,
So
I mean, most of the players that are like Overwatch League contenders like left the team before the end of Contenders.
Yeah, that's fair. And on the other side of things, again, you've got Africa Freaks Blue. To my mind, it's 12-0 in map record, so I guess in turnout as well, they're just crushing it, and that's exactly what I would have expected. Blank Esports is the team that I don't know enough about. That I know all I know about them is that they're pretty good. They're the Australian team,
Okay.
and so they look good, and I don't know anything about Miracle Team 1 or AHQ Esports Club, so I would have probably pegged them at second place there in that group as well. So far, this is, and not that it's a bad thing, it's just kind of playing out exactly like we would have expected, and there doesn't seem to be, I mean, we're so spoiled by Contenders last season, like huge upset, just
huge upset,
every
great
week.
storyline every single week. The entire time was just so great.
Yeah. But things had to have gone down from there, right? Like they couldn't have gotten crazier than Contenders did.
Right.
And so I don't know. I know I've seen a couple of the VODs here. I'm not paying super close attention to this. Is like my Overwatch Esports, mini
It's like our
vacation a little bit
right
here.
now.
Yeah. So kind of using it as such, but it's just kind of great to see the regions mix up a little bit, and whether it's close or whether it's not, it's still an interesting dynamic and fun to see. So I think there's probably better matches in that Group B, better VODs to review in that Group B side of things.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I think most of the Overwatch community, at least in NA or in the West as a whole, are kind of like, okay, this is the breather right now. We've got BlizzCon, which is always like a big party. We've got the Overwatch World Cup, which is going to be very exciting, and I think it's going to be our first, it's more of an exhibition match. We've been talking about this for a long time. Even though the teams are taking it seriously, it's going to be more of an exhibition match. People aren't going to be analyzing it too super heavily, I don't think, because there's not going to be any Overwatch League implications from it. At least not for Season 1, because the roster lock is 5 days or 4 days before it. So it's just going to be for fun, basically, at least in terms of the esports implications of it. And people are like, you know what, we need to, Overwatch League is going to be the craziest time we've had in Overwatch, at least from an esports side. So we're just going to take some time off. And even though APAC right now is the only show in town, or I guess not actually in town, but it's the only show that's playing, people are not paying a huge amount of attention to it. Even though, not to say that there's not good Overwatch being played, it's like, we're taking a breather here. The whole community is, but we are still making, there's no way we're gonna, even if we try, well, we could get to an hour, but we're not going to. But let's move right along, and
let's break it down.
Breaking it down. We do have some good stuff for here though. But LA Valiant officially announced logo. It is the Immortals team. Or owned by Immortals. Noah Winston, the CEO of Immortals, did a little video akin to a lot of the videos that he does. If you guys aren't watching Noah Winston post videos, they're quite good, and it gives. I mean, they're very much produced, like professionally produced, and they're very much coming from a CEO. Like it's not like it's not like me or Death are sitting. It's not like he's sitting at his computer in his house, being like, "Okay, guys, so this is the update for Immortals." It's very much produced. It's very professional, but it at least seems very sincere in a lot of the stuff that he puts out there. So definitely check those out. But he did one for the announcement of the LA Valiant, and he also did an interview with, I believe it was Forbes. I've got the links in the show notes. But yeah, Death, talk to us about the logo, the color scheme. What do you think about it? The Mercy
Sure.
skin?
So it's a bit of a mixed bag here. I'm not a huge fan of the name, and I really wish these were plural team names. But the Valiant is a little. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
La
But it's kind of in a similar boat as Fuel was one day after hearing about it. I wasn't wild about it. I love the color scheme, all that stuff. Like all that carries over exactly for me. Like. You guys have been poking fun of the colors a little bit. Not all of them are going to be for everybody, but this one is, to me, it's Packers colors. It's I'm used to seeing these on my sports team, so I like seeing them. And yeah, the name I expect to grow on me a little bit. But I've never been I've never sat here thinking that the LA teams, unless they shocked me with rosters, were very likely to win my vote here. So, it doesn't really change anything for me. So I like it, but I'm kind of like on an outside looking in view of it. Like I'm not expecting this to be my team, so I'm not invested in it. As far as the Mercy skin goes, I think it looks awesome. First of all, like I know it bothers Big Fish Overwatch today that he's like got Lucio's colors, but I hate to break it to you, man. Like, what were they supposed to do? Put Lucio and his basic skin out there for people to go buy? Like, it wasn't going to work. Yeah. And I think you kind of like pick your color scheme outside of that, right? Outside of what the skin looks like. It matters so much more than just what this skin that they put out for this season looks like. So you just kind of have to pick it and then deal with whatever comes out of the Blizzard art department, I would guess is basically how it works. Like, I'm sure they have approval or say in it, but the Mercy skin looks okay. So far, none of the skins we've seen are going to make me take my legendary skins off, so I don't really know. I don't really know that I care too much about the skin. Genji's cool, but yeah, just not as good. I mean, Power Ranger Genji, like champion.
Yeah, that's true.
Championship, he wins.
Yeah, that is true. Which is why I'm really hoping that they do like.
Isn't the Power Ranger skin in Valiant colors? Now that I'm thinking about it.
It is pretty Valiant. I don't know if does it have the hint of yellow in it. I don't remember.
Pretty sure.
But I guess you don't need it necessarily. So my thoughts on it are I personally don't like the colors, but not because I think they're bad, just because they're just not colors that appeal to me. So like I don't have anything against it necessarily. It does look exactly like John Deere to me.
And you made that connection right away. Like that was the first connection you made when you saw it, and I think that matters a lot, right? Like, to me, I went straight to the Packers because I live, breathe, and eat football, so it's just where my head's at always. And without that connection there, I don't know how I'd feel about it. Like maybe I would have went straight to John Deere, but I don't know. I've just been kind of laughing at you guys making jokes on it because they're pretty funny, and B, I'm not invested, so I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't bother me.
I don't think it's a bad color. So a couple of things. I wonder if if I'm an LA team, and maybe we'll see this with the Gladiators, but if I'm an LA team, I'm making Lakers color. Like I'm picking Lakers colors. Like I'm picking gold and purple. Like
I was like, what's the color outside of gold on them?
It's gold and purple. I don't know. I mean, again, it's the same thing for you as for me. Like if I think of Los Angeles, I'm thinking Lakers, like 100%. Like dynasty, like a dynasty that's not quite as old as like the Yankees and the Red Sox, but like goes back like long time. And it would actually be kind of funny because if the LA Gladiators, well, okay, not confirmed to be Gladiators, but what has been mined to at least potentially be Gladiators. If LA Kroenke is Lakers colors and LA Valiant is kind of almost Boston Celtics colors, that would be kind of a funny rivalry already. But that'll be interesting. Speaking of rivalries with the LA team, we've already gotten some social media, I don't know, fun poking, I suppose, in the Twitter conversation that the San Francisco Shock had in response to the posting of the LA Valiant video. The first tweet, of course, was just meh from the San Francisco Shock, which I think is kind of funny. And then, I mean, I guess it's actually not funny. It's just kind of lazy. But it's still like poke the bear, like get the fans.
I thought it was
up.
funny.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. It's not like over the top like that's.
Yeah, they're not like
clever.
Yeah, you're not being super clever, but I don't think they were trying to be either.
I don't think they were trying to be either. But
taking a passing shot at them.
Okay, it's at least marginally funny. We'll give it that. I got a chuckle out of it. The Valiant comeback with a stat of their Twitter profile that was created in 2014 and has 20,000 fake followers on it. Then it got real, and then San Francisco Shock like deleted the tweet. I think actual Overwatch tweeted in there like some GIF of I think it was from the Dark Knight. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. If that type of social media rivalry continues, that'll be fun.
Here's the only thing I'll say is like I lost a lot of respect for San Fran when they took that tweet down.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, what are you taking it down for? You fired your shot. You can't put the bullet back in the gun.
Yeah, you can't unfire it.
Yeah, like, come on. We all saw it. We were already, like, every Discord server was posting screenshots of it and links to it. Like, you make it a bigger deal when you take it down. Yeah. And if you want to pick on an opponent, like, you're not there to convenience them or make them feel good about themselves. You just make fun of them. Like, you don't have to explain yourself.
Right. I mean, and, like, unless you're doing something that's really, like, okay, dude, like, that's over the line. Like, everything's going to be seen as in good fun, right?
It should be. And if it's not, you just have to roll your eyes and laugh at the people that don't think it's all in good fun.
Right. Like the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm really happy this happened, because social media is our playground as esports people and commentators and fans. Like, this is where we live and breathe. Like, the rivalries are going to start and continue here. Like, I'm glad to see that it wasn't like, super internet safe space all like from the beginning. Like,
the one thing I mean, they took it down, so I have to ask you to shame bell them.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Shame.
That's the shame of the week right there.
Shame.
Keep your fire tweets up.
Yeah, if you're gonna like if you're going to take a stance and you're going to troll, like,
go all in.
Go all in. Unless like. So, or go all in the other way and be like, we're extremely sorry for the unprofessionalism shown by our social media manager. They've been let go. And also, if that is the case and you're hiring, let me know.
So that you can fire Blevins next.
So you can fire me for doing
because
something
he's not going to stop.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, no, definitely a shame bell for that. But I'm really glad that it happened. I'm just mad that it got taken down. I do hope. I have to imagine that like Boston team is not gonna hold back. Last thing I'll say on about the skins and everything is that, and I reset the counter death, but Halo actually put out team specific gun skins. And I think there might be like player skins as well, but there's like some splice ones. I believe there are luminosity ones for Halo. Like, they look awesome. I've just got to say, Blizzard, take a look at those. And like, I know that they don't really work as well with Overwatch. Like, the gun skins don't really work as well, but I mean, you already have the ability to manipulate gun skins with the golden guns. Like, I want to see stuff like that. Like, I just think they look so sweet. And obviously the Overwatch skins are a little bit more dynamic, but like, I want to see it. Like, just,
I'm surprised you're not calling for hats.
I would love hats.
Team hats.
Yeah. Hats would be sweet.
No hats.
I want hats.
No.
If I ever actually at BlizzCon, I'm just gonna go up to Jeff and just be like, what if Overwatch had hats? Actually, no, I'm not even gonna talk to Blizzard. I'm gonna talk to Activision and the people who are money hungry. Blizzard will have some amount of integrity. Activision probably won't.
Yeah, I don't know that they view that as much of a difference there. So I don't
Yeah.
They already might not be inclined to listen to you.
Yeah, who knows? But regardless, let's move on. I could talk about skins all day. Maybe we'll start a podcast with just talking about skins.
Movie night, X's movie night with Skin Talk.
Yeah. No, that just sounds creepy. But let's move on. Okay, so there's some rumors and there's some actual news, and we'll try to differentiate that as much as possible. If we say anything by accident that's wrong, just let us know. We're not trying to report stuff as news. It's not news. Just as a disclaimer. So we've got three former players, Skipjack, Too Easy, and Winghaven, who have announced themselves that they're retiring from Overwatch, at least in the immediate future. Some of them are working on their degrees. I believe Skipjack and Too Easy are specifically working on their either master's or college degrees. And then Winghaven just kind of tweeted out that he wasn't doing as well as he wanted to or needed to in order to continue playing, and he's kind of burnt out, and he's just kind of wrapping it up. So, kind of sad to see that happen, but I mean, it's eventually going to happen, right? Players are going to retire or not make the cut or what have you. It's just kind of sad to see it happen now. But I mean, we knew it was going to happen. Like, if you're not if you're not an Overwatch League ready player right now, like, that's fine. We've got contenders and we've got to build that whole pipeline out. But if you don't see yourself doing the grind for a whole year or potentially more years, like, the prospect starts to kind of drop off, and the fun factor starts to drop off, especially if you're feeling burnt out.
This is what I talked about when Taco and Mash were here, and we were saying there's going to be X number of players that don't make it onto a team, that don't have the resources to continue playing for another year without a full-time scholarship, or not scholarship, but salary. So they're going to be forced out from that perspective. Maybe they'll still play. I don't think Too Easy said he's done playing, and he might be open to it in the future, but like, for the time being, he's not playing. He's focusing on I think it was school for him. So yeah, I mean, these are just kind of the first group here, and I feel like it's been a long time since I've really even seen Winghaven out there.
Yeah,
so
it has
I
been.
don't know how big of a surprise that one is. Kind of same thing for Skipjack. Those guys were like huge in the beta scene, and then early on, and then kind of just
it's kind of got
petered off a little bit. It's
Yeah,
hard to know though too, because like EU went dark in tournaments for such a long time too, that they could have been working just as hard for X months and not had a chance to show it. So sad to see. We appreciate everything they brought to the game, and we hope to see them back or in a different game at some point down the line.
Yeah, I know a lot of these players were Quake players too, or maybe not these ones specifically, but a lot of these players in Overwatch that have been kind of retiring are Quake players. Well, I'm sure we'll start to see some more of this too as everything starts to sort itself out. But so here's the part where we're talking about speculation, some wild, some not none of this is confirmed. Just know that going in. So we got an exclusive scoop picture from TwitchCon. From Phelan, who shout outs to Phelan, and also shout outs to anyone who's listening to the show that remembers Phelan, an original founding member of High Noon Podcast. We got I got a picture on Friday. Oh no, it was Saturday. I got a picture on Saturday from Phelan, who was at TwitchCon, who just says, "Hey, look at these guys that sat down at our table," and it was a bunch of Immortals players and Numlocked. So, of course, we tweeted out at him, being like, hey, Numlocked on Immortals confirmed, ? He responds with, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm just sitting with friends. So take that for what it's worth. We found it, which is why we're reporting on it. And then there's some other... I don't even know. It's not even news, and it's barely even speculation of a possible roster that was. There's
so little going on this week. We're going to mention it. That's basically it.
So there's a possible roster that was made from an accidentally early made ! Team command in one of the Twitches. It's just so it just seems so. It's such a loose thing anyway. And B, Deathblow, you brought up a really good point. Of this might be them trying to hide the actual roster.
Yeah, I think there's so much going on now with people trying to get leaks and everybody trying to extract all this information. It has a chance to me to just be like, it seems really weird to me as somebody that's streamed and knows what it takes to create an exclamation point command on your stream that'll give out information. It takes a little bit of effort, and it's very clear when you're doing it that you're giving information to the public. So I don't know, if I'm somebody that signed an NDA and is not allowed to talk about anything and get in trouble and maybe financial trouble for not talking, you just don't make it. You just don't make it. It seems weird to me. But nonetheless, just read down the list of players real fast, since we're not even sure of it. Grim Reality, Agilities, Verbo, Kariv, Envy, Soon, Unko, Silkthread, Numlocked, and Fate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 players, so that would be the largest roster we've seen so far. But nonetheless, it's interesting. It makes a little bit of sense when you look at it. I can see how they'd break that up. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Maybe exciting is the wrong thing to be aiming for here, but if I'm trying to get my city and fans excited about the roster I'm bringing in, I probably don't combine the two most underwhelming teams from the season 1 of Contenders and just shove them forward. So who knows what happens? Who knows how viable this is? We actually recorded this episode a day late, hoping we would have this roster announcement, since it was either supposed to be today or this week or something like that. I don't know. We waited as long as we could in hopes to have something a little more concrete and reportable to go with our cool story about the picture of Numlock just choosing the worst table to sit at as far as trying to hide.
I know, the one table where we have inside spies.
Right. Who had the wherewithal randomly. Like, if I was him and I'm there, I'm not paying near enough attention to know or care. Like, that to me would just probably be some people that were like Immortals fans that sat down if they weren't in like the game that I follow and everything like that. So yeah, just bad luck all around for them if that turns out to be true, that we caught wind of it early. But super funny, and kind of one of those no harm done things, right? Like he didn't admit to it. In fact, he denied it.
Which we're calling that bluff, by the way. Like, hard call.
Yeah. The fact that they're both here, right? Like, it lends credibility to the team command roster being a little bit true to me, that like, it's, I don't know, just that there's two things and part of them's tied to Numlocked, who he knows hanging out with him. It seems likely, but it's just complete
speculation.
It's just complete
that
guesswork.
We wouldn't even talk about if we had anything real to talk about this.
For all I know, when we added Immortals in that tweet, they went out there and said, "Hey, Fate, can you go make a command on your Twitch stream? Can you just use this as a deflection, since he's not on our roster? People will buy it." And yeah, sure, I'll do that.
I would love if that was the case.
Oh, it would be the greatest thing ever. Because I would props to them if they did that.
Yeah, we already were like, when we saw the San Francisco Shock being a soccer team, we already called BS on that. Like, we knew, nope. So it would be funny, especially since it was specifically our show that did it. Like, if they're like, "Oh, these guys don't. Nope, we gotta deflect them." Like, nope, we're not falling for it. You're gonna have to do better than that. But let's move on to some actual stuff that's reportable. Shanghai Dragons announced that they have signed an 8-man roster. They'll announce the team soon. TM. We'll talk about it when they actually announced it. But another 8-man roster. I think most of the teams have said they're going to be around 9. So 8 to 10, I guess, is where most teams are shooting for. So we've also got Cruz, Christopher, and Valataja. And Valataja said that they're going to form a Contender Season 2 team. So I guess there's 3 players that definitely aren't going to be in Overwatch League. They're going to be forming a Season 2 team. One thing that I didn't put in the show notes that I did also see was that Mangachu is looking for a Season 2 Contenders team. So sad, kind of, to see our boy Mangachu not making a Overwatch League team. I have to wonder how much that was because of the Detroit Renegades. Like, I'm wondering, like, if he was in like contract jail.
I mean, you mean that? And as far as that's concerned, it
No,
could
not
very
because
well
of the
be true.
performance. I think because of contract jail.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be either. Like I don't. When I think
Sure.
Mangachu, I think really high skilled Farah, and then I think he's probably got two shell of a hero pool.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
You
I
know,
don't think he actually does have that shell of a hero pool. I think.
the problem is that where it went after Farah, like there's a significant drop off after Farah when you move into Genji and the characters that frankly you'll be playing way more often in that role.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think things could have been different for Mangachu if teams approached their rosters differently, and I think we'll see them. There's no way all the teams are just all going to bring 9
He's a
every
great free
season,
agent.
and
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
that's not going to stay long. Like that's how it's looking right now with an asterisk on the next thing we'll talk about. But it's people are going to eventually adapt and find new ways to manage their roster, and there'll be teams that don't want to adapt and take on the new way, and it's just things are going to evolve, and I think the era of one tricks on your roster will come around, and he will definitely find a slot there when teams are like, oh well, we want to have the best of these one-off characters. Like I want to have the best Doomfist ever, so let's get Leaf, let's get Mangachu, and fill out our roster that way. So I hope that stays sooner rather than later. But for the time being, at least we've got everybody aiming for balance. I think at the moment is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and I mean there could be other stuff. I mean he may have. I'm sure he's been doing tryouts and whatnot, and I think it might be the case like we talked about with the Overwatch score guy, or was it? I don't remember. We talked to so many people, I don't even remember who it was. Oh no, it was Kai that we talked about, where it's like Mangachu is like a top tier player. Maybe he didn't want to come on to a team and not be the name for the team. I don't know. Maybe we bring on Mangachu sometime again. Bring him on again sometime to get his thoughts on that, because if he's not on an Overwatch League team, supposedly he can talk about anything. No NDAs if you're not on a team, right? I guess that's not necessarily true either, but so we'll have to wait and see. But we'll move on. So we got a tweet from Alicus, a little bit ominous of a tweet. He says, word on the street is that word on the street in Korea is that GC Busan bought an Overwatch League franchise that already
got bought.
Oh, got bought by. Yeah, when I was reading that, it didn't make sense. GC Busan got bought by an Overwatch League franchise that already purchased another Korean lineup, and that team is going to field both. So, based on the things that we don't necessarily know, but that have been at least loosely reported, it's got to be either New York or London, right?
Could be Shanghai.
Could also be Shanghai, although they announced that they're going to have a team of 8. So.
Oh, that's true, and they already made their selections for the other 3. Like they've already added their group. So
right,
no, can't be Shanghai. They don't have room for another 6.
I guess it technically could be Boston, though we've been led to believe that that's not what Boston did.
Yeah, Boston. We're likely to see. I think what we'll see in Boston, or at least what I'm hearing we'll see in Boston, is 2 or 3 Korean players, 2 or 3 Canadian players, a couple other randoms thrown in. So he appears to be building from scratch. So yeah, I don't expect it to be Boston. I'm trying to think of what other ones we have no roster information on.
Technically, we don't have any roster information on Misfits, though.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
We got to stop calling them Misfits because they're the Mayhem.
Well, they're at least probably the Mayhem.
I mean, I know they're as far as if we're calling the other ones we found confirmed. I can pull up and look at their trademark on our site where we found them now too.
True.
So we can pretty much call that one confirmed. But yeah, so I really think it's very likely to be New York. It better be in New York if they want to do well this year. I think, in all honesty. Yeah, it could be Philly. We don't have any roster info there, but there's been a lot of talk about specific players. Yeah. And I think that would be very unlikely. But he actually, from what he says they've already purchased another KR lineup, which means they're already public about it.
Well, that's not necessarily true either.
Well, pseudo-public about it, which only fits New York and London. I'd be shocked if it wasn't New York or London.
Based on what he said and what we have heard, we're led to believe it's New York or London, but I'm not making that. I mean, I'm not necessarily making that assumption. I think that the tweet has less. Yeah, I mean, the tweet doesn't really make sense if he's trying to if he's trying to lead us to believe anything, the tweet doesn't make sense unless it's New York or London. So
yeah. So I expect it to be there, and I think it's awesome to see, right? What we talked about with the players in some of the early hot seat episodes, what are we going to be doing here? Are we going to have, 2 teams of 6 that get to scrim against each other? I mean, if that team jumps out and outperforms, like let's say it's New York, okay? And we can it's very easy to lump what happened in this season 4 of Apex with GC Busan taking out Lunatic High twice as Lunatic High has bigger fish to fry. In fact, that's exactly how we lumped it and categorized it when it happened both times. But let's say, there's an early season matchup between them and Shanghai wins and it's 4-0, but then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, they meet up again and it's 4-0 the opposite way. Like the internal scrims are clearly doing something here. Like if they improve better and faster than everybody, that tells us a lot about the process and what can be gained from carrying that full second roster. Also, they have the ability to hot swap a full 6 and just show you a completely different style of Overwatch. Like they could have a dive team and they could have a death ball team. They could have a 3 DPS team and a 2-2-2 team. They could do whatever they want, really. And it would be a lot of fun to see and watch. So I hope it's true. And I hope it's New York, because as much as I hate your name, I want you to do pretty well, because you're the only team from my state here. You won't be my favorite team. But I'll still root for you. There's no animosity there with New York. So I do want to see them do well. And I want to see the teams that do things different than everybody else be rewarded for it. Yeah. Unless it's Boston.
For sure. It'll definitely be interesting to see. Again, I mean, it's just speculation. A lot of these things are going to be tied off, within the next couple of weeks when we have everything revealed. Last piece of knowledge or of news that we have, Jason Kaplan says that Team China of the World Cup is making major changes, dropping a lot of the LGD players and picking up miraculous youngster players. So basically an upgrade, I guess, in a way of the China Overwatch World Cup team. Basically filling in with the new, the upstarts of miraculous youngsters. I mean, it makes sense. Like the rosters were formed so long ago. A lot has changed since we saw the Overwatch World Cup. So not a ton of surprise there. And the last thing I'll say, I forgot to put in the show notes, but I saw they tweeted it out today. If you are actually looking to get caught up on what happened in the World Cup, maybe you either weren't watching Overwatch back then, or you weren't paying attention to the World Cup. Blizzard is actually putting out a little, I think it's a 4-part video series, of all the stops of the Overwatch World Cup. All those qualifier tournaments are putting together some highlights and whatnot of that. So check that out. It's on the official Overwatch page and all that stuff. So that's it. We've got another 12 minutes before we're at an hour. So is there anything else you want to put in? Anything else you want to talk about, Death?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I expect next week to be chock full of a lot of news and announcements. Actually, next week, should we announce what the episode will be? Okay, so
are we going to do that as the episode? Or are we going to do it as an extra episode?
No, it should just be the episode. Anyways, we're going to be doing a collaborative effort. Who knows if it'll be the episode or the regular episode? I'm pretty sure it'll just be the regular episode.
It'll be posted one way or the other.
We're doing a collaborative episode with both of the guys from Omnic Lab. We're going to be just smushing the shows together to do a Halloween / BlizzCon preview / topics to be determined this week after we've recorded this week's episodes by everybody. But it should be a really, really good time. We've sent me over there twice. Blevins hasn't gone there. Rob hasn't come here. iPlay's been here twice as well. So, a long time relationship between the two shows. So we're just finally going to get everybody in one room at one time here to sit down and record. So hopefully that'll be a whole lot of fun. I'm really excited. At least I think all 3 of you guys, everybody but me that'll be on that episode, is going to BlizzCon. So I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of talking about that.
And we'll all be in costume.
Yeah, we're doing a little costume, a little cosplay action there. Very, very cheap cosplay action there. So don't have high hopes or expectations, and you won't be disappointed. But otherwise, it should be a whole lot of fun. If you're not familiar with the Omnic Lab podcast, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. Go find it, check it out, listen to it. They're always a really good time. They focus on the strategy, which we leave completely alone. So
We leave it up to them.
yeah. Like why reinvent the wheel? Like they're doing such a good job at the strategy side of things. So check them out. Omniclab.com, I'm fairly certain, is their website.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for us. That's going to be a fun one. We're gonna determine whether that's gonna be the episode or not. I don't know. It's really gonna be a play by ear, but we're definitely gonna be doing that. Gonna be a sweet Halloween pre-BlizzCon, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us, guys. Huge thanks to all the patrons. If you do want to be a patron yourself, you can head on over to patreon.com/High Noon Podcast. All that good stuff is there. Huge thanks to all the people in the Discord. Our Discord has just been awesome lately.
Super awesome.
Head over, if you go to highnoonpodcast.com, you can find everything, all the links to the show and all that good stuff. If you want to listen anywhere else, whether it be iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good stuff, everything's over at highnoonpodcast.com. Also, our Twitter information is there, the show's Twitter information is there, and the Discord link is there. So head on over to highnoonpodcast.com. All that stuff is there. I haven't actually been mentioning it, but a lot of people from Reddit have said that they saw us on Reddit. So if you're here from Reddit, hi. And we usually post the YouTube video there. So if you guys are listening on iTunes and you want to also see the video, go to youtube.com/podcast, hit subscribe there. And you can also follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/highnoonpodcast. We finally shifted it over. We record Mondays, 7 Eastern. Twitch.tv/highnoonpodcast, and we also do the interviews there, and Death is doing his VOD reviews and stuff there, and his coaching there, and I'm gonna probably start streaming at some point there too. So the Twitch channel is definitely going to be more active in the upcoming weeks and months, so throw a follow over there. It'll help us out and it'll help you out in the long run. But that's going to be it, guys. Final shout-outs to Matt Reno for sponsoring our SoundCloud, and shout-outs to Adam Hoek for making and letting us use the awesome outro music that you are about to hear. But for Deathblow and for everyone else, I am the Blevins, and remember, it's high noon.
Got his boots and he put on his hat. He threw the coin away that same day. It's in his past and he's not looking back. He says, finding mine now, God's my way. He's not good, but he sure ain't bad. He'll make amends for the sins that he has. He says, I'll change the world one bullet at a time till I find mine.
Well, this is a short episode, so we don't need a thing at the end. Oh, wait, that turned into the thing at the... Oh, crap.